Welcome to episode 2, Traba Itinerary Interviews. So we got Bryan Nambo here, and he's about to tell us about Crust Lords. So I got a few questions, Bryan.
Yeah.
This is not your first full length. So like how many Rockford full lengths have you been behind
Oh,
at this point?
man. A good handful. I mean, if we're counting like anything over like 10 minutes, maybe like 6 or 7 of them. We did a couple weird ones. Well, the first ones I did were just like homie videos, and they were called the Skate 1-5 Volume 1 and 2. And it essentially was like shared parts between people who didn't skate together. So each section was like 2 or 3 people who did not like skate together on the reg. So it was kind of cool to mix up people that way. I think the second one was like had a whole bunch of old martial arts movie clips cut into it. It was weird,
I
but
love
good,
that
but good
shit.
times. I think my first real go at like a full length was we did this one called Suplex, where like each of the guys who had a main part had like a wrestler associated with them, and like the clips cut into their intro and stuff like that. That not on YouTube. That shit would last about a minute or two before it would get pulled. But if you can find a copy, there's a good Dave Green part in there, man.
Dude, Suplex was sick. I remember that. Maybe
Yeah,
YouTube might be more lenient at this point. I don't know. Maybe.
yeah, maybe.
Right. Sick. But yeah, tell us about the Rockford scene. You guys kind of got a lot of good ingredients right now.
Yeah, it's looking good, man. I mean, street skating's pretty good. The parks have been holding up. We got one guy, Connor Laborde, who pretty much stayed on the park district's back until they just kind of let him start doing all the maintenance at the park. So, he started cementing and stuff at the park, at least the one at Floden, and making it a lot better. So that's been pretty sick that there's been actual upkeep at the park. But skate scene wise, man, a lot of the older guys are sticking it out, going out a lot more. There's a lot of younger faces now that I see. And I don't know, whenever I go to like the park or I'm out and I see a whole bunch of people like that I don't know, I take that as a good sign. So
True that. And so, how long have you been skating? Like with this, like I know the crew is like already changing, but like how long have you been skating with this crew? I guess that you're rocking with these days.
man, it's been a good handful of years. I mean, probably at least like 6 or 7, maybe. And obviously with skateboarding, people come and go or they drift away and come back. So that's always cool to kind of see people come back around that maybe you didn't skate with before and now they're back in it. So that's kind of sick. I mean, right now it's a lot of us older guys. A lot of the younger guys have gone to or right now like recently went to school. So we got a few people who transplanted out to like Colorado, some now in the city in Chicago. So it's kind of sick to see everybody spread out.
Yeah, even Steven is
Yeah,
officially
he's in Arizona now.
officially in Arizona. But yeah, dude, like this video in particular, dude, like Steven and David have like some really, really good clips. I mean, it's like, people should be watching this stuff.
Yeah, it was sick. I was glad. Obviously Steven usually cranks out a full part, and which he wasn't there. Didn't crank out that as many clips this video, but I mean everything he did was good. I think he was doing a lot more time with like producing, so he's helping somebody make an album. So he was busy.
I think he just released that.
Yeah, yeah, they just put it out. They made so many tracks. Every time
Yeah,
he's like, we got like 20 something tracks. I'm like, good luck going through that, man.
bro, that's sick.
But he was putting the time in for sure.
Hell yeah. Dude, and fucking David, dude.
Yeah,
Like,
dude, the ancient alien DNA, man.
oh my
Some of the loose square guys, or well, first gear guys came out the other day, like on Tuesday, and they're meeting up with David, and I met up with them, and it was just like it was a good Tuesday, pretty productive. But yeah, David's a freak, man.
Yeah, I saw a couple Instagram clips that was like, damn, like it was like some story clips. And I was like, I would do that like for a clip, dude. Like, I'm like, damn, like I'll still do it, but like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
something crazy like
I'm a
that.
big fan. I'm a big fan of the out of towners coming in to meeting up and skate because it's always nice to see everything with a fresh pair of eyes. So
Oh yeah, for sure. And dude, speaking of outer towners, dude, you guys went and got some DeKalb action in this video. It's like pretty
Yeah,
sick to see
yeah.
that shit, dude.
It's always good to hit up DeKalb, home away from home. The DIY is looking pretty good. So
It is, dude. DeKalb is one of those scenes that is almost like more propped up from people like in the surrounding areas than the actual
yeah,
skaters of the scene, itself. Like it's so many people come to skate DeKalb, like
yeah.
it's,
It's always been like that. Even when I lived there, it was like there's some of us that live there for school and stuff, but for the guys and girls that actually live there, like that are local, it's always good to see them participating too, like Keenan and stuff. So
yeah, like Keenan, Daniel. Yeah, dude, it's definitely heating up. So
yeah,
I'm really excited to see like I'm like probably just gonna have to just put together some project of these guys. I'm like if they're not gonna do it themselves, I'll just fucking film it.
yeah,
But we'll see what happens with that. Like, but yeah, dude, like just changing the subject a little bit, just talking about the video. The music selection, dude, is fucking awesome, man. And
thanks.
wanted to just like ask like what inspired you to use like certain songs, you know what I mean? Like just in general, like what's your process like with the music? Because that's always like that's like
Man,
a sticky point,
that's yeah, that's probably the most enjoyable part for me because pretty much whenever I end a project, there's like essentially when I'm starting a project, I'll just start a playlist and that's like a year's worth of a playlist of stuff I'm just listening to. And then at the end it's kind of like you go back through and I listen to everything. And even throughout that whole year, I'm like continuously listening to everything, just so it's like any of the tracks on that playlist, like I know them like the back of my hand, and it's one of those things where it's like some of the shit I'll go back and listen to it, and I'm like, why the fuck did I put this on here? Maybe there's like 8 seconds of a song, and I'm like, oh, that's great. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to just listen to whatever I can, even if it's not my particular style. Like if something's got a rhythm, like it could be used for sure.
Yeah, right moment at the right time. So
Yeah.
I guess that would kind of bring us into like a little bit of like, what do you feel like these young filmers are like kind of missing in order to like get it together? Like what is some advice that you would give to some filmers these days?
Yeah, that's tough, man. So if anybody asks me, I pretty much am like the first one to admit I don't particularly think I'm a great filmer. There's tons of other people who film much better than me, use better equipment, shit like that. But it's like if you make the time to go out, not like if you're putting in the time, like that's gonna get you pretty far. So I mean, you're only going to get better. You're going to find whatever your own style is. You're going to stack clips, and that gives you stuff to mess with and edit. And it's like, if you have that, you're already like miles ahead of other people. So,
That is a golden nugget right there, guys.
pretty much, man, if you can't make a masterpiece if you don't got enough canvas, so you just could pretty
Yeah,
much stack what you can.
you just got to get out there and film. Just keep
Yeah.
filming, dude. Like film rando stuff, and it might turn into a banger. It might not, but now
Yeah, I
you're.
mean, there's gonna be some stuff you film and you're like, this looks like shit, and then other days where you're gonna feel like you're on, and if you got enough stuff, you can kind of filter through.
Um, I wanted to keep going a little bit with a different subject. Tell us just a little bit about like your experience with the ground floor closing, and then that time in between, and then small opening, and just kind of like what that was like for the scene.
Yeah, man, that's tough. I guess that's pretty relevant now with you know, other shops and other parks kind of.
FA going
Yeah.
right
So,
now, really
I
rough.
mean, Rockford's kind of always been pretty cyclical like that. Like, when I first started skating, we had an indoor park called the Pit, and like soon after I started skating, that shit closed. So it was only street skating. And then, we had the station skate park for a while, and it was kind of on and off, moved location a few times, and then eventually, they kind of hung it up too. And then there was nothing for a long time again. And then kind of Eric stepped up, and he had been around for a long time, so he knew the importance of having a shop and having stuff where you could pick core brands or just support smaller brands and different stuff you wouldn't usually get like at Izumi's or whatever.
Hmm.
So he, started up ground floor, and it was a good mom and pop business. Offered a lot. So I think during that time, I know Ben, Ben had worked there and he had kind of thought about like, oh, it'd be cool to like open a shop and, but obviously, he didn't want to step on any toes or anything like that. And it was just an idea. And then I think, when Ground Floor, decided that they were gonna, wrap things up. I think Ben stepped up pretty quick too, and opened small. So, and I know it doubles as his print shop, so it's kind of helps out that, even if the shop is slow, he's got stuff going on.
Yeah, that's definitely a good strategy to minimize the overhead, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and all those shops were like so different from one
Yeah,
another,
for real.
Um, yeah, because I know Ben's into just like trying different stuff. I know a couple months ago we did like a double header skate movie night where we picked like a couple local videos and played them on the projector, and people just came and hung out, and that'll probably be an ongoing thing too.
Yeah, that's fucking sick. And then also just he was doing those events with like that grass gap rail and
Oh,
stuff.
the pop up spots, yeah, that'll probably continue too. Yeah, that turned out pretty sick.
I am looking forward to seeing more stuff like
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one. I think people will come out because even the one he did before, like it was a pretty good turnout. And I think Rockford's like just that sweet spot where you can kind of do shit like that. And if the cops see it, they got other stuff going on. So
Yeah, it did.
they'll kind of just look at it and be like, "That's kind of weird," and then they'll move on.
Yeah. It makes me think like it's, just the videos alone is a huge part of why the Rockford scene is so thriving, and like I would just want to like encourage anyone out there to kind of see what you're doing as like a blueprint, use that and make their tweaks or whatever, but use like that as a blueprint because I just think like when you're like in the middle of it all, like just as a skater, like maybe you're not even a filmer, like you don't realize like the things that make your scene different than another scene are like certain decisions and like ingredients that have to just like be working together in order for like a certain natural result to happen. I think like some people, there's some places that like maybe understand it more, and I feel like Rockford is one of those places where it's just like it has that thick skate scene. Like if you just compare it to DeKalb, there's a lot of different people doing the DIY stuff. You know what I mean? Like I feel like in DeKalb, it's like me and Nico and Henry and stuff, and like we don't even live there. Like you know what I mean?
Yeah,
People skate it and stuff, you know what I mean? And it's dope. Like more people are skating it, but in terms of like people like trying to make like really sick obstacles and work together to make it like really good or even cleaning it up and chipping off like the tiles or cutting off like the metal and stuff, it's like
yeah,
basically like just us. But like when you see like I don't know like concrete getting built at like the skate park in Rockford, you're just like damn, like this is kind of nice. And they got these OG like long like standing spots that have been around for years, like the two-step ledge and the ditches and stuff, like, and it's just like all of this stuff, and like it's definitely, you see kind of like, I mean, it's got bank spots, like, which is turning into like this like
yeah.
crazy level of potential.
Yeah, it's one of those things like when you're around it all the time, sometimes you take it for granted. And stuff like organizing events or just doing DIY shit or just looking for spots. I mean, all that shit is pretty much just like you just gotta go and get your feet wet. Like anybody can do that. And it's like, nothing's gonna happen unless you do something. Like you're not gonna have any gatherings unless one of the times you organize it, or you're not going to find any spots unless one of the times you're just go out riding around looking for stuff, or I mean, and that shit, it takes no skill. I mean, the DIY shit, trial and error, you can figure it out. It helps if you know about it, but like, doing events or just looking for spots, or
Yeah,
trying to find,
motherfuckers, we got eyes.
yeah, yeah, all you got to do is put in the time and go, and all that shit can happen. So,
Because yeah, if you find some shit, like I'll bondo it, Find that shit, you know?
Dude, I think the first time I legit, and this is weird now that I think about it, the first time legit I saw somebody bondo a spot, and I'd seen spots bondoed before, like afterwards, but like renegade style, like, hey, we're driving to this city, we're going to this spot, oh shit, it's got a crack, we're gonna bondo it and go to another spot for 20, half an hour, and then we're coming back. Was when I went with like Dave Green and Josh Oakes and them when they were filming the Polarity video, like the alumni guys, and we had went to some spots in Wisconsin and they were just fucking bondoing up mad shit and just going around and like coming back to the spot later that day like they were on a mission, and I was like, this is like renegade style and I fucking love it.
Dude, I can smell the Bondo right now, dude.
Yeah,
Like straight up, that's insane. Like, yeah, that renegade shit is like
yeah,
I love it, And then like especially when you do like that like proper as fuck as possible with the tape and everything, like make it perfect, but it's just like broad daylight. Like you can do it, man.
yeah, it's so
You're fixing it up, dude. Like an old lady could trip on that crack, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I remember a couple of times Dave Green and I worked we did like for one of the summers we did like a skateboarding kind of camp thing through the park district. So we had these park district shirts, and there were so many times like after that was done, we would just go and look for spots and like rubric them or whatever, and we'd have our park district shirts on like high vis, and no one would ever bother us. They'd be like, "Oh, thanks for fixing this" or whatever, and we're like, "Oh
shit.
yeah, no problem."
I need to make some more high vis, dude. That
Oh
shit's
yeah, dude.
sick.
If you can make a high vis park district shirt, you're good. No one's ever gonna stop you.
Dude, that's fucking sick. Hell
And I
yeah.
don't even think you don't even get a claim to work for the park district. Literally, anyone who just sees you in that shirt's gonna be like, "Oh, thanks," and then they're gonna go about their shit.
For
At that
real.
point, you can't even say you were claiming to be park district because no one is gonna ask
No
you.
one even
No
asked,
one.
dude. Like I was
Yeah,
just wearing it, dude.
yeah,
Like, yeah, dude. I need to hit the conch, bro. Like,
yeah.
hit those long ledges and bondo a few cracks up there at the top because I feel
Oh,
like you
yeah.
hit that long ass one and then maybe start to like drop down and make your way down
Oh
somehow.
yeah, man. The band shell is a real long standing spot, and it's got a lot of potential.
Hell yeah. But dude, are you doing any preparations for King of Rockford yet?
Oh man, slowly. Everyone like all the guys like want to do some bigger stuff since it'll be the 10th year, which is fucking wild to think about.
Damn, 10 years of King of Rockford.
Yeah. I mean, my
Holy
favorite part about
smokes.
that is just getting to watch other people's videos realistically. And, because everyone like no one's ever like, oh, I don't think I can film a fucking full length, and then every year people film videos, so it's like, just from that.
Hmm.
But yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah, that sounds like a blast, man. I only did it one time, but I definitely did some flag ground that I feel like that was the last time that I did those tricks.
I've seen, the thing is like the book is like a weird mix of shit that you're like, oh yeah, I could do this right now, first try, and then shit you read and you're like, this is wild as fuck. But there's always people who do the stuff in there, always. Every time I put something in there, I'm like, I don't think anybody's gonna do this, and there's always at least somebody who does it, and it's never like who I expect really. So it's kind of sick because it forces people to do a lot of things. You go to the park, you got your routine of what you like doing, but it makes people step out of their comfort zone for sure.
One of the best things you could do, man. It just really gives people like a whole reason to just spend a couple days out there.
Yeah,
And
for sure. I mean, I've told people before from out of town, like, I think there's only really been like one year where we didn't have an out of town team, at least one out of town team. There's almost always out of town teams. It's like if you're coming from out of town, you usually got an open invite to stay at somebody's place overnight and get a couple of days of filming in. So, especially during the summer, like you can get a lot done in 2 days in Rockford.
and now that's exactly what I have to do, man. Like honestly, like next couple weeks, I'm gonna be out there soon, my G. We're gonna get started on this shit. I'm like feeling pretty good. I'm definitely stoked to make that shit happen. Get into the crust. I'm gonna bring 3 rubrics. Make
I
some
got one ready in the trunk.
fresh shit. We'll get the quick dry lacquer. We'll fucking lacquer up some shit and it'll be ready to go in like a few minutes, bro.
You could be like some of the homies and just get the saw blade and just kind of go at it.
Yeah, that was a good one too,
I don't want
dude.
to name any names and incriminate anybody, but
But
they
yeah,
they know who they are. Shout out to them. Shout out to them. So
Rockford Alona, bro. I'm gonna make some shit in that ditch like way too smooth, bro. I swear to God.
yeah,
I know some of it already is, but
yeah. There's some good
I know
spots.
some shit. Hell yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, I think that's like basically everything I wanted to talk about, though, man. I think we kind of like streamlined it, made it pretty nice, but I think we hit some pretty good
Yeah, we had that practice. We had the practice one. We had the practice one. So
practice run. Oh, but yeah, hold on. A couple of shout outs, though.
yeah.
Couple of shout outs. Cody and Corey, them clips.
Oh yeah.
I'm a fucking fan, dude. Like straight up, just like keep the clips coming.
Hey man, Cody, style wise, personal favorite of mine. You
This
know,
piece is
the,
perfect, bro.
sometimes Cody will come at certain things that I know he can do, and he'll be a little wild. But I mean, for the most part, like he's got shit locked in. Like it looks good, and so and I
Yeah,
mean,
the way he just
Corey,
looks good, dude. He's got
yeah.
that like hair is just like perfect every time. He do it. Like, dude, that
He
shit
said
is
the
sick as
fit
hell,
good,
bro.
the tray flips on point. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got him, and then Corey too. Corey's his own different kind of beast. So I know he came out a lot last year, more so than I've ever seen before, and he was skating with Dave, which is funny because those two have like not even remotely close styles, but they were skating together a lot. And
the most different
yeah,
style. And
yeah,
yeah,
not even close, but
dude, definitely got to get on some sessions with everybody and get like fucking some Dave sessions.
yeah, yeah, they're good, man. They're good.
Fuck yeah. But yeah, I just wanted to give a shout out. I'm stoked to like actually have this thing reach the public. So that concludes episode 2, my G's.